This is Chapter 56 of The Flower of Freedom, an original book by me, Deborah Reeves. All the rights to both the book and my presentation of it are reserved. Please find your seat. It's preserved and ready for you. Here we go. Chapter 56, View from the Top. They got to the ski lift just as it was ready to make its first trip of the day, and when they got to the top, the ladies at the restaurant unlocked the doors slightly early to let them all in. The local ladies who ran it were kind and welcoming. They invited the group to slide tables together, and soon they filled their cups with their favorite morning beverages. The restaurant was empty except for the 8 of them. The breakfast was wonderful, filling, and homely. They got to know the ladies a little bit, and Michaud asked if they served a Swiss fondue on their lunch menu. They assured him that it was the specialty of the house. After conferring with the others and extolling the virtues of a luscious cheese fondue, he asked if they could reserve a table for lunch and if they could order a fondue. The ladies were happy that such a pleasant group would be coming back, and assured them that they would have the same table and a warm welcome at lunch in a few hours. They spent the next couple of hours on different and more difficult slopes that day. It took all of their concentration to maneuver each run, and many of them fell, and some fell hard. They got back up every time and tried once more with the encouragement of their friends. Soon it was 11:30, and Michaud was talking about Swiss fondues again in raptures that made everyone's stomach rumble and everyone's face grin at his silly antics. They were back in the restaurant 15 minutes later, and they parked their skiing equipment in a safe spot. As they came in through the door, they were greeted by name. It made them feel like they'd found their own special place, and they turned and returned the greetings. They sat at the same table, ordered drinks, and almost immediately 4 small enameled pots with burners beneath them were placed in front of them, 1 per pair, sitting on opposite sides of the narrow tables. Between the fondue pots there were platters of small round boiled potatoes, cubes of bread, and segments of parboiled boiled vegetables. They stayed there eating and talking for more than 2 hours. People came and went around them, but it was as though they were in their own little world of joy. Michaud sat next to Suzette again, and she seemed to sit a little bit closer to him than she sat to Nicole on her other side. Nicole and Marie exchanged glances and smiled. At one point, Michaud left for the washroom, and Philippe noticed him talking to the ladies at the cash register. Philippe just thought he was doing his flirty thing when he came back smiling. The ladies were refilling their drinks, and one asked the group if they were planning to take a trip into the next town during the week. When they asked what was there, the ladies told them that all the local young people loved that town, where there were movie theaters and arcades, and shopping all on a pedestrian mall where there were quaint shops. When the ladies went back to the kitchen, the group discussed the possibility. Suzette, who had fallen hardest, told the group that she thought that perhaps she could use a day off from skiing to heal her wounded pride. Many nodded, indicating that they thought their sore muscles might thank them too for a change of pace. Michaud said, "It's all settled then. I'll find out about the train schedule to the next town, and we should all sleep in for a bit tomorrow morning. I'll let you all know about the arrangements before we go to bed tonight." When lunch rush was over, the ladies who ran the restaurant had cleared their table, and they returned with 2 chocolate fondues and all manner of good things to dunk into the melted chocolate. The girls cooed in unison when it was placed on the table, and they thanked the ladies with grateful eyes and words. "Don't thank us, my dears. Thank your friend with the curly hair. He ordered it as a treat for all of you." As though their heads were connected, they all turned to look at Michaud. "Hey, you haven't lived until you've had a Swiss chocolate fondue. And the way I saw some of you fall this morning, I thought you could use a little resuscitation. I don't think I'm powerful enough to carry you all down the mountain, so eat up. So it will be at least a fair contest when I beat you all to the bottom." "Game on, buddy," said Bertie, but the girls said, "Thanks, Michaud. What a nice thing to do." Philippe said, "Okay, boys, we know who to go to when we need to find out how to melt a lady's heart." As he swirled a large red strawberry, wondering where they had come from in France, the other boys all groaned and loaded up their own tiny forks. Half an hour later, Nicole said, "If I eat one more bite, the tearing sound you hear will be me putting so much pressure on these snow pants that they tear at the seams." "I'm not sure that I'll be able to zip up my ski jacket," said Suzette, to which Michaud chivalrously offered to do it for her. "Hands off, my friend Michaud," Marie growled with a smile. "Need I remind any of you how my sister dispatched one Damien Dumonte?" asked Bertie. "Whatever happened to that guy?" asked Joseph. "I never see him around anymore." "I heard that his dad got arrested for money laundering and that the family fled the country," said Philippe. "Someone said that they went to South America while his dad was out on bail." "Yikes," said Bertie. "Yikes indeed," said Michaud, and he added, "I also heard that he got a new job there and that he runs in diplomatic circles now." Soon after, they all went out into the cold to fly down the mountain toward the lodge. Once, when Bertie swooshed up next to Marie, he pointed toward Michaud's hat with the flaps over his ears, and he said, "Who would have guessed that Michaud would have turned into Don Juan? He has developed some game. Chocolate fondues," Bertie chuckled. Marie looked up at her brother, wondering if she should start worrying about Suzette. That's the end of this chapter. It's been a delight to have you here. Please come back for the next chapter. It'll be up shortly, and it's entitled Just Missed Them.